Rush comes. Mahomes fires. Caught. Kelsey.
Who else?
First and goal with Hunt in the backfield. Worthy already with the 5 catches. Mahomes has hit 4 different receivers. It's Hunt on the give. Hunt on the score. Touchdown, Kansas City.
There he is up at the top, working on Blake Fisher, the rookie.
Stroud, dangerous, and picked. Trent McDuffie, first career interception last week, and now the floodgates have opened. Once it starts, he's that type of athlete, and sure enough, here they are, looking to capitalize off another turnover. And a big play here for Pirine down the sideline. Pirine inside the 30. Bullock had to go down low to get him.
Nobody's running by him in camp, and he has been outstanding as a rookie.
This was a question mark coming in, but Butker looking like his old self with a 44-yard boot and gets Kansas City up 17-10. In the midst of their 6th 13-win season in franchise history, 3rd since 2020. Worthy, just get him in space, let him do the rest. He's tripped up, or he could have potentially housed it. Akuda, the last line of defense to get him by the shoestrings. He excelled last year with Cleveland in the playoffs against Houston with a receiving and rushing touchdown. First and goal to the end zone. Touchdown, Mahomes to Worthy. Kansas City extends the lead. Matter at the end of games. 3rd and goal now from the 20. Stroud knocked up in the air. Incomplete. Oh, a minute.
Trailed only Trey Hendrickson of the Bengals with 12 and a half.
He and Will Anderson combined 22 and a half, the most by a duo in the NFL this year. Hunt, good running room into Texan territory.
And he's going to do whatever he can to help us win. He's solidifying it a little bit.
Mahomes to the outside, beautiful grab. Hopkins stopped on a dime. Stroud on 3rd and 11. Free rusher comes. Williams gets home. The corner blitz dialed up by Steve Spagnuolo to perfection. 4th down. The extra week of rest. Here's a big 3rd down and 4. Mahomes quickly. Pirine got the slippage, and Pirine got the 1st down. Bullock goes down low. For the 2nd time in 3 seasons. Hand off. Up the middle. That'll do it. Kareem Hunt. How far will he take it? Slides down at the 12. Night from KC.
Well. Once again, for the 14th time this season, we are celebrating a victory show. It's not a Victory Monday per se, since the game felt like it was 4 weeks ago, but it was a Saturday game. So I guess we're still celebrating Victory Monday with a very short window of time, because we have a game in less than 48 hours, Wednesday on Christmas Day. Welcome into the Red Hour, Week 16, Season 6. I'm your host, Sean Tyler, with the crew. Our short one today, we just found out that he is actually one of the bargaining managers for the Keebler Elves Baking Union, and they're in negotiations right now because Keebler's trying to team up with Santa Claus to take some of the weight off the elves with making cookies and toys. So, he's out doing that. So, Darren, good luck with your union negotiations.
It's an elf union. Okay, cookies.
And it's not FU. It's not the elf union. It's, all right. To my right, though, as always, nephew Steve Walls. What's up, nephew?
Nothing much.
That's a pretty nice Cosby-esque sweater you have on.
Oh, yeah. I had this in the back of the closet and was like, hey, let me wear this. So
did you stroke your chin when you did it?
He did.
Yeah.
That's definitely a stroke your chin kind of sweater.
He was trying to decide, do I want the Chiefs logo or no Chiefs logo to show? I think I'm going to go with no logo.
That is definitely sitting in front of the fireplace singing Mariah Carey Christmas songs.
With a cup of Joe.
There it is.
Yep.
Not a cup of Joe. Just turned to 1938 all of a sudden. To his right, as always, the infamous moisturized part down the middle, DJ Q.
Yes, indeed.
This is a busy season for you, too.
Yeah, it just kind of concluded. I'm glad about it.
No big New Year's Eve plans for DJ Q?
I don't think so. I had a venue reach out a couple days ago. See what we can work out, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of last minute.
I hosted a lot of New Year's Eve parties through the year, so
Plenty.
when I was able to say no, best thing ever.
Yeah.
Not working on New Year's, being out there with the rookies.
New Year's is just stressful, and that's exactly what it is. It's like a night for like the rookies.
The rookies.
And it is just, but not always. Like if you have a group like we used to have at one point, just being able to do it every year,
Yeah, now if you're doing some invite only type situation, some kind of small, intimate, and cool, would be dope.
Yeah,
but then you go public with it. It's
just, when you're trying to make money,
maddening.
It's nutty.
You know what's not maddening? The Chiefs. 14-1 right now, on their way to their, what I didn't know was their first ever 15-win season. 15-win season, but they do go undefeated in the regular season at home for the first time in a few years. So the Chiefs took down the Texans on Saturday. The Chiefs 27, the Texans 19, in a game where there was a lot of back and forth on whether Patrick Mahomes should play or not. And that game, judging by the way it played out, like we talked about, it could have been a game that he set out. Wentz could have handled that game absolutely no problem.
You know, the funny thing is, I hate when people are always like, because I see this all the time on social media. Well, I said it first. I said he wasn't playing first. And I'm like, who else besides Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid knew that he was going to play? Like, or was not going to play.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, come on, get out of here. But it's just always those people that are on social media like, I got the inside scoop and I said that he's going to play first. I saw that earlier today and I'm like,
not an inside scoop.
Yeah, I'm like, so you got Pat on the line?
so who was the inside?
Right, not inside. Brittany?
Yeah. People got to stop.
Yeah, everybody wants to be first all the time until they first at getting that whooped, and then it wasn't me. All right, so the Chiefs 14-1. Patrick Mahomes and CJ Stroud's first time at Arrowhead. And like I said, he was going to turn that ball over. He did twice, and it cost him. And the win, the Chiefs just kind of barreled their way through. There were some serious injuries in the game, and thanks to CJ Stroud, we will have a new crying meme. It won't have to be MJ anymore.
Yeah, I think
I wouldn't use it in that situation.
I think that was a turning point in the game.
It's the internet. They will use that for that. But I had to remind people as we were watching the game, they're like, oh man, this dude, professional football player, crying. First of all, he's just a kid. Two, that's his best friend who has had one hell of a year already. He's been shot. Now he's season-ending injury. I mean, that was his best friend.
Yeah.
And then you don't know what's happening when they're laid out on the field like that. You're just so many things could be going through your head. So
that was a turning point in the game.
It was, because as soon as they came back, they missed the extra point. And then the game went on, and you could tell that heads just weren't in it anymore.
Yeah, not at all.
And
it'd have been a much closer game had that injury not taken place.
Maybe not. We
No, I think it would have been. I think just the what Tank adds is what a lot of teams want to have on offense. You have that guy that's like an X factor, and we can go back with this Chiefs team, the Dante Halls, the DeAnthony Thomases, the Tyreek
definitely
Hills.
that player that's not afraid to go back and get her to do whatever to make that play.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we saw from him for the first three quarters.
And CJ Stroud was able to move that ball down the field with ease.
After he settled in, like after the two interceptions.
It didn't take long.
Settle in. Yeah. But I think where the Texans kind of fumbled the bag, because I think this game was very winnable for them. I think where they fumbled the bag is going away from the run, and really not allowing Joe Mixon to kind of get his mojo going.
Yeah, what's crazy too is I was looking at the sideline like after the injury, after you see CJ Stroud, because you could clearly see that he was distraught. Like you see him pacing up and down. The guys came over to him while he was sitting on the bench. He hopped up, walked off by himself, and I was like, all right, when is head coach DeMeco Ryans going to get this team together? That was after the missed field goal. It was clear that his team wasn't the same. And I'm like, dude, you've got to, before y'all go send special teams out, this was after the missed field goal, grab your team together and say, hey, I understand what happened. We hate to see our guys go down, but let's play for him. Let's rally up and play. He never did that. He never got his guys together and said, "Hey, this is what we need to do." And you could see it. Like they were kind of separate. I think, of course, defensive guys like, "Oh, well, you know, that's our teammate," but we're not, you know, with him day in and day out like the offensive guys are. So they're still going to continue to play. But offensively, you could see that they weren't on the same page after that injury.
And we'll see what happens as far as Chiefs injuries go too, because we had some notable Chiefs injuries. Chris Jones has a calf injury. DJ Humphries has a hamstring issue. Jamari Connor, concussion protocol. And we don't know if TJ Watt is going to play again this weekend because he was playing semi-injured. And Juwan Taylor has some issues that he's dealing with as well. So this game, and all four of the teams that you saw on Saturday all play again in switched roles on Christmas Day. The Texans will take on the Ravens and the Chiefs will take on the Steelers. And we'll go over the scores on some of these other games in the league because there were some real barn burners going down and then some surprises and some things that will kind of help some of our predictions go along, because I said that the Patriots could actually take one of these games from Buffalo. And now that they are going home to play in Massachusetts, the way they play them in Buffalo, could be a thing.
It's going to be a tough game.
Could be a thing. Chiefs, again, on this Victory Monday, could be playing for their first 15-win season in franchise history. And today they picked up a veteran tight end to the practice squad, Robert Tonyan. Tonyan from was with the Vikings last. So
the Chiefs picked up a tight end.
I think he's veteran. He's capable of doing putting in work. So I think it's kind of one of those things where you be a little greedy and put guys on the
so your look tells me that you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking. You've got enough offensive weapons with these guys healing up and coming out, and you're having issues on defense, and you pick up somebody on offense off waivers.
No, I mean 5 tight ends on roster. How many are on roster?
Well, right now you have 2 of them are injured. You have Jody Fortson, who tore his ACL. You have the rookie. You got the rookie
Travis Gray,
and then we have the number 1 tight end.
Yeah, Travis Noah Gray, and then you also have the rookie,
the young kid,
who also tore his ACL.
And then what about Watson?
I didn't know that.
And then Justin Watson's wide receiver.
Yeah, Watson's wide receiver.
Yeah. Okay. So really, you only have 2.
But still, I'm thinking, why are we picking up? Because we have.
No, I mean, if it makes sense, and especially going into the playoffs, and there's a chance that you have a negative 30-degree game, you're probably going to use a lot of those tight ends in some of those schemes. And especially now that you have Kareem Hunt that can run between the tackles. You have Pacheco that's still healthy, can run between the tackles, off tackle. I think it's also a help to the offensive line. So you stack your tackles with tight ends.
I guess if they're big enough and we get some blocking tight ends. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Because I'm still worried about, some of these injuries on defense. And
I mean, if there's a guy out there that that you can go get and hold on your practice squad, why not? You never know what's going to happen.
And then Jalen Watson just tweeted. So what does that mean? Is he back?
No, I don't think so. I highly doubt it. He was on a scooter for like 2 weeks. I don't.
Could have been an axe.
Yeah. But the other person I thought that the Chiefs were going to go get is when the Ravens released Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, and Deontay just got picked up by the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, I mean that's another guy you could have put on your practice squad and just kind of held there just in case.
But do we know why they got rid of him?
I mean, they don't throw the ball like that anyway, so it don't really matter.
Yeah, but the way they did it just seemed real suspect.
End of the season.
Yeah,
I mean, teams just do that kind of stuff.
Because they weren't trying to free up cap space.
The Ravens released another Terrell Suggs was released in the middle of the season. Remember?
Yeah.
In a Super Bowl run, they released him. Chiefs picked him up. It's like, why did y'all release Terrell Suggs? Okay, we'll take him.
Christmas gifts. Kansas City's 14 wins with 30 or fewer points this season is now the most in NFL history, breaking a tie with the 1925 Frankfurt Yellow Jackets. I don't even know what that means. The Frankfurt Yellow Jackets of 1925.
Yeah, no
Frankfurt,
idea.
Germany.
That'd be Frankfurt, Wisconsin. You don't know.
I don't.
So Nick Wright, I found this interesting that he tweeted this soon after the game. 14-1, a league high 6 wins versus current playoff teams. Breaks the 1990 49ers record for best start ever by a 2-time defending Super Bowl champ. The magic number now, of course, is 1 to be the number 1 seed. So he says it's business as usual for this team, and he doesn't see a problem with the short window of time going into enemy territory in Pittsburgh on Christmas Day. And this is a very, very, very good Steelers team.
Yeah. Very good.
And I can see Nick saying that because Nick is just a huge Chiefs fan. I mean, sometimes he talks great sense. Love you, Nick. What up, bro? But sometimes I think the fan gets into him a lot and stuff like that. Like going into Pittsburgh on Christmas Day after short window time, even though they're playing on the same short window, but going into someone else's stadium, it means something. Just like CJ Stroud's first time at Arrowhead, you could tell he was rather the noise. He couldn't handle it.
The Wyatt kid, he's not on the injury list
anymore.
TJ Watt is not. So they have George Pickens questionable, Justin Fields questionable. Everybody's questionable. Joey Porter Jr. questionable. So yeah, I think you get a full healthy roster of Steelers.
And Brandon Knight posted on our chat thread. He said he talks about Joe Tooney. He said Tooney, a dog, doing what he has been doing, rotating to that left tackle position and doing it well enough to make a big difference in the first ballot Hall of Famer. He said, and he did it again against Myles Garrett. That's crazy. He said, on top of all that, cornerback Joshua Williams is looking more comfortable as he keeps getting more games under his belt, and Hicks as well. It's starting to come together on that back end as we get closer to playoff time. I agree. And I talked to Chris Jones about this last week, just about the young guys and them coming into their own now. Of course, Joshua Williams has had a lot of action. He played his rookie year when it was, Joshua Williams, Jalen Watson both together. They were forced to play just because of the injuries. And I think now he's getting more, like you said, more comfortable. But, man, these turnovers have helped him over the past few weeks.
Yeah, but you are coming to Pittsburgh with a Russell Wilson who is playing top-tier football right now, and you've got an offense that goes long. Yeah. And our pass defense has been suspect when it comes to that long ball play.
Russell Wilson will give it up too.
He will, but Russell Wilson's also that quarterback who can score with the best of them. So if he turns it over, he can turn it right back around and get in the end zone.
And then, I mean, their running game isn't a slouch. Najee Harris is definitely a formidable opponent. I think where their strength is gonna lie, and I think they win this. I think I'm gonna stay with my pick and say that they win this.
Who is that?
But the Steelers. Okay. But I think Pickens really has to show up against this defense. And then also their tight end play. I'm guessing their tight end is gonna be healthy.
Pickens didn't play yesterday.
Yeah, and he didn't play, and he's still questionable. So. But I think he plays. So,
yeah, I mean, it's
going to be an interesting game.
The way that the Ravens beat up on them, I mean, yeah, and Lamar Jackson didn't even play his best. So I just think
they played in Baltimore.
Yeah, and they played in Baltimore. But if the Chiefs come in there and they play like they played yesterday, they'll be fine. I mean. This was a different offense yesterday. Now you've got Hollywood Brown back. You've got, if you got all these guys on there, it's kind of a pick your poison. Like who do you want to have the one-on-one matchup?
And let's go over some of the numbers from the game on Saturday. Patrick Mahomes was 28 for 41, 260 yards, a touchdown, 0 interceptions. This is the third week in a row he hasn't turned the ball over. Kareem Hunt, 11 rushes, 55 yards. Patrick Mahomes, 5 for 33. Both of those were for touchdowns. Isaiah Pacheco, 9 carries, 26 yards. The receiving core, 7 receivers in double-digit yardage.
Yep.
Worthy, 7 for 65. P. Ryan, 3 for 50. Hollywood came in, 5 for 45 yards. D-Hop, 4 for 37. Kelsey, 5 for 30. Kareem, 2 for 24. Noah Gray, 1 for 10. And he's moving that ball around. He's starting to play around with this very, very, very talented, crowded offense.
Yeah, D-Hop's going to get a lot more love, too.
And when you have Worthy, Hollywood Brown, D-Hop, Kelsey, either Kareem Hunt or Pacheco all on the field at the same time, that's tough on the defense. Because at some point, all these guys can be starters on any team in the NFL. And so what do you do as a defense?
So we've watched it unfold, and we've seen with some success some of these teams just go ahead with the rush, and they get Patrick on his heels.
Mm-hmm.
And with that hobbled ankle, they're hoping that it's hobbled just enough where he might make a mistake. But also, this is the territory where Patrick could do Patrick things and get the ball to somebody. So, I mean, we've seen it go both ways.
But they tried it, and you saw the touchdown run that Patrick had.
Absolutely.
That was everybody was covered, or at least.
And he even hit a player on the way in.
And without that spy, he's going to show, hey, I can run it too. So you've got to, it's going to make you think like, all right, we got to figure out who's going to leave at 101. Then that only leaves 3 guys to rush if you're going to put a spy out there.
Right.
So I don't know, man.
And some teams have had success getting to Patrick because, again, he's been one of the most knockdown quarterbacks in this half of the season.
And the Steelers aren't slouches on defensive line either.
No.
So a key on defense outside of Pickens on offense, I think a key on defense is going to be the pressure that they can get on Patrick and how often they can get to him. And we've only seen it Bills, Browns, and wasn't another game he got sacked a couple of different times. So
Bills, Browns,
Denver.
Yeah. So if they could keep the pressure on him, it might be a long day, but either way, I still
and Russell's good for taking off.
Yeah,
and running the ball as well. And then with the possibility we don't really know what's going on with Chris Jones and his hamstring.
And then you also have their gadget plays with Justin Fields.
I'm looking at the sacks that they had against Lamar Jackson yesterday. Minkah Fitzpatrick had 1 sack. Other than that, there is no other sacks on Lamar Jackson. And TJ Watt played too. So, I mean, Joe Tooney's been doing a heck of a job at the left tackle position.
I know stood up.
Andy Reid has talked about him playing. He had been played left tackle in college, and he moved to the guard spot. But I think he'll be okay. But then what do we do at the right tackle spot? If Juwan Taylor's not able to play, who are we putting over there?
Yeah.
So, it's kind of a chess game.
Every week.
Really, it is.
Every week. And then, we've had these 3 games in a 10-day span.
Yeah.
Takes a lot. And then going into what's the weather going to be like in Pittsburgh on Christmas Day? That's going to be another factor. We're playing.
Yeah. It was snowing in New York. Was it Saturday?
We're playing right off the river in Pittsburgh.
Sunday
on
game
Christmas
time
Day
is 38 degrees.
That's fine. That's what it was.
This was Saturday.
Yeah.
So as long as the sun's out, we're good with
sunny. Is it sunny?
I mean, it just says 38 degrees. It's nothing to it. Probably be a little cloudy, but
no snow.
Your phone don't show sun or clouds.
It's just the ESPN app. You might not want to holler at them.
You check ESPN for your weather always?
No, I was just already.
Oh, okay.
I was already there. I know.
I was like, your phone, I got the sun.
And your chief meteorologist from ESPN says, "Wait, what? Wait, what are we doing here?" So we'll go over a couple of games around the league before we take our first break of the day. Don't forget, it is Monday night.
It's cloudy.
Monday, but no snow.
Yeah,
cloudy.
All right, so if it's not windy, well, we're off the river, so it's going to be some kind of wind.
Because they say they're having snow today.
Yeah, there's
tonight.
So that's going to make it colder, even if it says 38 with snow on the ground, and coming off the lake, it's going to feel a lot more colder than 38. So, all right, tonight, Monday Night Football, the Green Bay Packers and New Orleans Saints. The Green Bay Packers 10-4.
Trying to get to the playoffs.
Trying to get to the playoffs. New Orleans eliminated. Denver Chargers yesterday Chargers beat the Broncos. Yay. Pittsburgh lost to the Baltimore Ravens yesterday in very convincing fashion, 34-17. The Jets lost to the Rams, and we'll talk about the Jets again because the Jets will take on Buffalo this week. And then that's in Buffalo, and then Buffalo will play the Patriots again, who they played this past weekend in Massachusetts as their last game of the season. And if they lose one of these games, great for us. But if we win one more game, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, if Chiefs win this game against Pittsburgh, it's a wrap. They got their number one seed.
Yeah, one of my favorite games yesterday, though, was watching the Washington Commanders take on the Philadelphia Eagles. That was a really, really, really good game.
Yeah, it's a brutal game.
How'd you feel about that, Q?
I mean, I knew how it was going to end up once Jalen went down, and especially looking at the team really didn't get rolling offensively until about 5-6 games in. And when he goes down like that, I mean, your backup is Kenny Pickett. It might as well be Drew Lock, huh? No, but
Kenny Pickett handled the ball pretty well. He went right in for a touchdown in his first.
Decent.
He gave him an opportunity at the end of the game too.
But
he did.
You could see how you could see how indecisive he was with the ball sometimes. He underthrew a couple of receivers, especially Saquon when he was streaking upfield and he had nobody in front of him and he had to like turn around, and so he dropped that. And it's things like that when you're a team that I think they're a team that focuses on rhythm. They try to get everybody in rhythm, whether it's Saquon, Jalen, and both receivers. Honestly, once you get them going, the team could roll. I didn't see them rolling with Pickett.
So let me ask this about concussion protocol. If the league sees that you got hit and you don't come out, the league will call down and say, hey, bring him off the field.
Like when Patrick Mahomes blacked out and he was back on the field in 5 days.
They're supposed to have an independent. They're supposed to have an independent doctor.
Yeah,
that's there.
Yeah,
that that does the diagnosis, I guess.
So, if you are depending on the level of how concussed you are, does that keep you out for a couple of weeks?
No,
it depends on you got to go through a series of tests throughout the week.
Yeah. So Jalen they will list him as day-to-day until he passes concussion protocol.
Yeah.
Is where my question was leading.
Yeah.
So we don't even know if he's going to be able to come back.
He can. We've seen Patrick do it in 5 days.
But maybe his level of
he wasn't blacked out on the field.
We talking about the GOAT compared to not so much of a GOAT.
Okay.
A lamb.
Okay.
And it's
so the rules can like teeter. Okay.
And they have.
Okay.
They
definitely.
have. But looking in Jalen's face when after the hit,
being serious,
like it didn't look like that bad a hit.
Yeah.
And then when the camera was like in his face, he was just like,
yeah.
And then they were like, yeah, you got to come off because.
And that happened to not just getting off the quarterbacks, but Shamari Connor 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm looking at my binoculars at him. I'm like, man, he's looking all around. He had no idea where he was in Cleveland. He was just like, man.
You've never been concussed, huh?
I've never had a concussion. Never.
Yeah, neither.
So I don't, so I don't really know how that goes. But
a whole
I can just know.
World.
I just know how it looked from the outside.
It's a confusing experience.
I bet. Atlanta over the Giants, the Panthers over the Cardinals. That was a close game. Cincinnati beat Cleveland. Indianapolis and Tennessee had a real good go-getter yesterday, and Indianapolis came out on top. Detroit just flew past the Bears. Nobody was expecting any different. The Vikings and the Seahawks played a pretty close game, but the Minnesota Vikings came out triumphant on that. New England and Buffalo, 21-24. That game came down to the wire. That was almost a game taken away from Buffalo at home, and Buffalo got a very slow start because New England came out 14-0 on those guys.
Yeah, and Josh Allen turned the ball over too.
Yeah,
that was an arm punt. That was an arm punt.
Okay,
because he was trying to pin them down inside the one, so that was an arm punt. Okay, we do not talk about an MVP throwing interceptions. That's an arm punt.
That's a new term.
Hey, but you know what? I'm wondering how severe his They talked about him having a broken hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I wonder.
that's just that.
That's
okay.
just because I don't think his hand is broken.
You don't think so? Okay.
No.
Okay. They went from an arm punt to now he has a.
No, this is before the game. They've been talking about
but
before
they
the
said for the season they said it's healed now, but they wanted to tell you
most of the season with a
they
broken
wanted
hand.
to tell you the week that he blew his MVP chances that he's actually been playing with a broken hand.
Yeah.
So that's why we're gonna make him the MVP.
Boom,
Like,
boom, boom, boom.
Get out of here.
I'm not even talking about the Vegas Raiders score, even though they did win.
So are the Rams a contender now?
I think they've always. I won't say always, but I think these past
they started slow.
3 weeks,
they started to make a turnaround.
When they were able to beat Buffalo, I felt like they solidified. You thought you was upset when I talked about Buffalo.
No, I just looked at this last score that really upset me because I felt Tampa Bay got robbed. They got robbed. The Dallas Cowboys, and why are we giving them just trying to keep their hopes up?
I'm glad I cashed out yesterday on my parlay.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, yep, I know Tampa Bay ain't gonna win this game.
It came close. It came close. Sorry, we're gonna take our first break here. The Chiefs on this Victory Monday, 14-1 on the season, getting ready for postseason play. Will they be the number 1 seed? They are 1 win away from making that happen. We'll talk about the playoff scenarios right now as we go into these last 2 weeks of football and this very, very short week for these 4 teams that are playing on Christmas Day. And Steve is super excited about the halftime entertainment in Houston. And there was actually supposed to be halftime entertainment in Pittsburgh as well. And I don't know what happened. Did you know that?
Who was it supposed to be?
I've heard.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we'll talk about that too. It's all, so stick around. We might even break some news. Who knows? We'll talk and see what our people are talking about online. And don't forget, you can ask us questions. Join us on Facebook. Join us on Twitter. Join us on YouTube. It's season 6, Talking Chiefs football on this Victory Monday. It's the Red Hour. We'll be back in moments. Welcome back to season 6, the Red Hour on this Victory Monday, Talking Chiefs football. Christmas is just a few days away.
Mm-hmm.
It's Christmas Eve. And these 2 games on Christmas Day will be on Netflix, which is a first for the NFL. And they announced that Balache is going to be
who? He's never going to stop being a Beyonce hater.
Beyonce is performing at halftime in her hometown of Houston for the Houston game, the Texans game against the Ravens.
Yes, the Texans are playing during a Beyonce concert.
Yeah, and then there was supposed to be a halftime performance scheduled in Pittsburgh during the Chiefs Steelers game, which was to be Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey on Christmas Day. Major coup, but now they're not talking about it. So I don't know if it's still happening or not because they're only talking about Blanche, or whatever her name is.
Somebody will have their private jet ready, I guess.
Now that would probably, you know what? And after what Taylor did last week. Can't nobody say nothing bad about her.
It says Mariah Carey's performance will air just prior to the Chiefs vs. Steelers game, streaming live on Netflix.
So she won't be there.
Yeah.
But they'll run a special performance before the game starts.
Womp, womp, womp.
Yeah, all I want for Christmas is somebody who's going to show up for the damn performance at the stadium.
Good luck.
Mariah. So these games on Christmas Day, if we take a look at the NFL playoff picture right now, on who is trying to make their way to Nolans, the Chiefs right now, as we sit 2 games away from wrapping up this NFL season, the Chiefs have the number 1 seed, the Bills 2, Steelers 3, Texans 4, the Ravens have the 5th seed, still in the hunt. Chargers, Broncos, this AFC on the bubble, Colts, Dolphins, Bengals.
Man, the Bengals look all right. Like,
Their
their start just killed them.
Are we not used to this by now? Like, we talk about this every year.
So we'll give their percentages according to NFL stats on if they'll make it to the playoffs or not. So the Bengals, who have the 10th seed currently, have a 7% chance. Dolphins have a 9% chance. Colts have a 14% chance of playoff probability. The Broncos have a 76% chance, and the Chargers now have a 94% chance of making it into postseason play.
So what if the Chiefs have to get through the Chargers and the Broncos to go to the Super Bowl? How funny would that be? Like, for real.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Depending on how these last 2 games are played out around the league, anything is possible.
I don't think the Chargers are beating nobody in the playoffs anyway.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, what if they have to get through them to get
yeah. I mean, because you got teams out here playing spoiler right now, and some of them are doing a good job at it. So if we move to the NFC right now, the number 1 seed, of course, is the Lions, who are 13-2. The Eagles, who are 12-3, have the number 2 seed. The Vikings are the number 5 seed at 13-2. The Rams, who are still in the hunt as the number 3 seed, have an 86% probability of making it to the postseason. The Falcons have the 4th seed with a 55% chance of getting to the playoffs. The Packers, if they lose this coming week, tonight, they have a 98% chance. And then, but they said currently they sit at a 99% chance. So pretty sure the Packers are probably going to be there. The Commanders still have a 94% probability with the 7th seed. The Buccaneers, 52% with the 8th seed. And the Seahawks with a 14% chance at the 9th seed. And still, I guess they are being eliminated. So Cowboys, Cardinals, 49ers, Saints, Bears, none of these teams even matter anymore.
So if you're Kirk Cousins, to get over your demotion, do you go to Magic City or Pinups?
Right, you ain't got nothing but time at this point.
From 11 to 1, I'm at Magic.
So whoever's got the good lunch buffet, go there early.
From Magic, I heard Magic has the best kitchen, so
I'm there late. I'm there from 2 to 6.
Now you go there early to get some on your stomach, and then you go and just go full on balls to the wall in the second spot.
I mean, was a lot of talk about Russ being washed, and we're kind of quiet about this guy.
They're going to show you J6. I'm glad they're playing Pittsburgh because they're going to show you just how washed they are.
Okay.
So the Buffalo Bills yesterday almost lost to the New England Patriots in Buffalo. So this coming week, they'll play the New York Jets. And someone at this table seems to think that Aaron Rodgers might just show up for this game just because he can.
And it's not me or you. So who is it? It's you.
Hey, that connection, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, has gotten better each week. Now, we know Aaron Rodgers is not going back there next year, but I feel like he'll be all right just when they play this week against Buffalo. We saw Buffalo. So are you saying Aaron Rodgers is? Now I know he's
a wascally wabbit.
Yeah, he's got 1 foot out the door.
Yes. So not to mention that the Jets are 4-11 and they're 2-5 at home.
Yeah, I mean,
and so they just gonna string it together one good old time.
One more for the Gipper.
Why not?
I don't
against
know.
Buffalo.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't know. This is a Buffalo team late in the season. They almost
squandered
they almost got knocked off. And so
I have never rooted for the New England Patriots before in my life.
Yesterday
I felt like I needed on
I know y'all
hoodie.
felt weird on Saturday, huh? Yeah, it was kind of yesterday. Yeah, I felt kind of weird cheering for them. But no, I don't think you beat the Bills at this point in the season like that. I think Josh Allen is going to try his damnedest to get back into the MVP conversation with this game. I feel like the media is going to allow him, especially against a 4-12 team. And I don't know. I think the fix is in when we started seeing NBC tweeting about him doing an arm punt. So,
yeah. No, I mean, you can never put it past Aaron Rodgers. Like, you just can't.
Totally agree.
You just can't.
Totally agree.
I don't.
If it was 2013.
Okay. I'll give you that.
Nah.
This Aaron Rodgers is not like Russell Wilson, who's been moved to the perfect situation for his type of play and the right coaching.
What is the perfect system for a guy that can't lead a team or rally players behind them? Like, there's no perfect situation for that.
Unless you have someone in charge who is the end-all be-all to everybody on that team and can stand up in your place, even if you are a captain and you can't go in there and motivate your guys. You've got that head coach or that offensive coordinator who can go in there and stand up and, go and rally the troops. People have not had a chance to heal. Luckily for Patrick Mahomes, he didn't spend a lot of time on his back or getting smacked around in this game this past weekend. So let's talk about these Steelers and the Kansas City Chiefs, who have seen each other enough to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
The Steelers are at home on Christmas Day with a quarterback who was pretty much walked in there and everyone was thinking he's washed up. This Russ isn't good. And he didn't even start the season for the Steelers.
It did.
Their backup quarterback did and did pretty well at it. Russ was ready. They put Russ in and have not looked back since. So, Q, I ask you, what Russell Wilson do we see on Christmas Day against the Kansas City Chiefs?
You see somebody that's locked in. This man has to be away from his family, and the odds are
with his family.
I'm saying he has to be at work.
Oh, man. He gets to wake up on Christmas morning with his family.
Okay.
I mean, you sit away from his
but
family.
He also doesn't.
Not really though, because this is a noon game, so they got to be at the stadium by 9 o'clock.
Steve's not listening to me.
So he don't get a whole lot of time.
When it comes to giving props to Russell Wilson, Steve doesn't want to hear anything about it.
I've apologized almost every week for my statements about Russell Wilson. I'm thoroughly surprised.
It's fine because I know you guys really don't know quarterback play like that, and that's fine. You know,
he washed.
Okay, but
I'm not saying that anymore.
I think I think this guy, being the family man he is, he wants to like win this game. This is his Super Bowl.
Very well could be.
It's not his Super Bowl. He's been in the Super Bowl.
But now that you say that, this could actually, he's looking at this as like, all right, I go out there and beat Patrick Mahomes on Christmas Day. This is added to my, not that he needs it, but this adds to my resume to say, hey.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I think
second Christmas Day loss.
Yes,
but
and not even that. I think you get to play spoiler to the best team in the league right now. You get to knock them potentially out of the first place, out of the 1 seed, hoping that the Bills do their thing. I think Pittsburgh has a lot to play for, but I also think that Mike Tomlin is telling them, like, look, we need to roll this week into the following week into the playoffs on a high note.
Because both of these teams currently are in the playoffs. There's nothing that can happen when they play each other that's going to set them back.
And then the only time they're going to play each other again, if it happens, is in the AFC Championship game. So this is, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you want to win this game, and especially to get some psychological one up on this team.
So you think we're going to get the best of Russell Wilson's season on Wednesday?
I think you get a good part of it. Yes. I don't know if I could say best, but yeah. I think you see a guy that comes locked in. And when you have teams like the Texans didn't have that leadership that Steve talked about.
Right.
Russell Wilson is that leader. Like, Russell Wilson he's gonna do what he has to do to lead his team to win. And whether that's be the guy that's fired up and is running and diving for first downs, or whether it's the guy that's just picking the defense apart.
And this is a fairly healthy Pittsburgh Steelers team right now.
Very healthy. They only had 4 questionables and 1 on IR.
Wow. And one of those questionables is J.J. Watt.
No, he's not questionable. That's what I'm saying.
T.J. Watt is not questionable. TJ's playing, and TJ is known for getting to Patrick.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if they could keep the pressure on Patrick consistent, and alongside with that, Russ having a very solid, because Russ is going to have to, this is my thing for the year, but a quarterback against the Chiefs has to throw at least for 250 yards to be successful against them. And also, Najee Harris is going to have to run from anywhere. They're going to have to run anywhere from 80 to 100 yards with whatever committee of running backs that they have to be successful against this team.
You said that a quarterback for the Steelers has to throw more than what? 250 yards?
He has to have 250 yards passing.
So as I'm talking to you about this, and this is why I went to you first, because I knew you'd be cerebral about the outcome of this game.
Oh.
With the problems that we've had on the left side protecting Patrick, and the last few weeks, Patrick being one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league, and then you're going in.
Not the last 2 weeks, but prior to the last 2 weeks.
Prior to the last 2 weeks. Yeah. You're going in to Pittsburgh, short week, with a TJ Watt, who is famous for putting hands on number 15.
Now you see why they bring in the tight end.
Yeah. So this doesn't bring any questions to you. What do you think we see on Christmas Day?
I mean, I think you see an aggressive Patrick Mahomes. We saw what he did last week against on Saturday against Houston. You got Houston that put some bulletin board material up there. It's like, we're going to get after Patrick, and the number of things that they said. And we saw Patrick literally on a hobbled ankle run through the middle of their defense and truck a guy to get into the end zone.
Right over the exact guy who was talking trash.
Exactly. So I think this is one of those where we always hear Travis Kelce and company talk about playoff football. And there's
and that's this game.
And there's a heightened level of play when you get to the playoffs that you just don't understand if you've never been there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Steelers, of course, have been there, but this is a game that they're going to heighten their level of play.
Have to,
because they understand what's at stake. They understand that there's a bye at stake. They want the rest, and I feel like you're not gonna. Andy Reid and company is going to drive some stuff that we haven't seen before, especially with Hollywood Brown coming back. I talked to him after the game on Saturday. He said he feels great. It's going to be some matchup issues when it comes to the wide receivers and the tight end against this. You're not going to be able to blitz like you would.
And that's that was the point that I didn't get around to because we started talking about TJ Watt. But I think
hold that thought.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take our last break. When we come back, we'll get our last cues as to what I did that on purpose, as to what we might see on Christmas Day on this short game. And then we'll make our picks for Christmas, do some Christmas wishes, and get out of here because I know Steve still has to get to Taco Bell to see if they got some of those caramel empanadas before they all get out. So we'll discuss all that in moments. Please stick around. We'll be right back. Season 6 of the Red Hour. Back in moments. And we are back, season 6, week 16 of the Red Hour. Chiefs 14-1, taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh on this very short week. It's a matter of a couple days, as a matter of fact, and going into enemy territory to try to secure the number 1 seed. Key, you want to finish your point on what we're facing?
Yeah. So Steve earlier mentioned, having Hollywood Brown back, having Worthy out there, having all of these guys. I think the approach that the Steelers take is going to be very similar to the approach that Tampa Bay took in that Super Bowl in 2021. I think they try to play bully ball, especially in the middle of the field. They try to get these receivers to get some alligator arms.
That ain't try to work with D-Hop.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think you have these, and that's why I brought up Hollywood Brown and Worthy, because those guys are very small and undersized, even though they are speedy. But a lot of times, if you can get hands on these guys, and get them looking over their shoulder, especially, through across the middle, that's a game that can become very long for them. And especially when you're looking at, again, a heightened playoff atmosphere, like, you're looking for that psychological advantage. You're looking for something that, you can one-up them on, and it could be that. Will they be successful?
Where the Steelers are ranked as far as pass defense?
I don't know. I'd have to look.
So very, very, very short week. Both of these teams have played in just a matter of days and will go again against some very strong opponents, each other, on Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
And we're playing in Pittsburgh. It's another noon game, so it's an early game on Christmas Day.
Steelers are ranked 8th in total defense, passing defense. They are ranked 22nd.
Huh.
Okay.
All right. So there's a chance. There's a shot.
Mm-hmm.
If Patrick can get it to his receivers, especially downfield, it could be a very long day for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
The average yardage that's allowed is 222.3.
Huh.
Chiefs are ranked 15th in pass defense, 215 yards allowed.
So we're looking almost at a pretty even spread here.
But total defense, Chiefs are ranked 4th.
Yeah. And where were they on total defense?
8.
Yeah, so we're looking pretty even killed here on these teams.
Pretty close. And I wouldn't imagine they're too far off. I still think that.
But Russell Wilson is actually playing better at quarterback than Patrick Mahomes is right now.
And he's not a statue either. So that's a tough thing you have to worry about, especially rolling him out of the pocket. That's it could be trouble.
But Patrick is a never say die, never surrender quarterback either. So I mean, this has the makings of a very, very, very spectacular Christmas Day game. This could be one for the books, and I'm sure Netflix is hoping that it ends up being just that.
Netflix,
you know what the X factor is for the both teams? I think Russell Wilson. I mean, because you know what Patrick is capable of in this type of game. Now, I know prior old Russell Wilson, we know, but like we don't know what Russell Wilson is going to do.
I think
that's the thing. That's the question.
Because we know Russell Wilson in a Donkeys uniform.
Yeah. Or not even that, Seattle.
And we knew him in Seattle. Yeah. But we have a fresher take on him in a Denver uniform.
Yeah.
And we own the Denver Broncos during that time. But we're also looking at a Russell Wilson who was under duress from the head office, the coaching staff, his receivers, and now he's playing.
Oh, they didn't want him there.
Yeah, and now he's playing A1 top-notch quality Russell Wilson football under the guise of one of the best coaches in the NFL, one of the winningest coaches in the NFL, and it just happens to be
the winningest franchise.
Right, and it just happens to be one of our AFC opponents. So, with that being said, put it all out there now. We're looking pretty even. All right, Dr. Cosby Sweater. What are you calling on Wednesday?
I got the Chiefs. I think Patrick already said they know what it felt like to lose on Christmas Day last year against the Raiders. It wasn't a pleasant feeling. And Pat has said that over and over again. And I feel like we saw a different quarterback last week. It wasn't
even a good Raiders team. They just...
I know. And we saw a different quarterback last week just with him. When I saw him run the ball and running actually instead of sliding, he could have slid, but he went ahead and went to the end zone. I'm like, oh, okay. This is letting me know that he's getting ready for the playoffs. Injured ankle or not, he's going to put it all out there leave it all out there on the field. And I feel like with this new regime of wide receivers now that you have, it's going to make it tough on defense. And I feel like they want to showcase that. So I got the Chiefs. Winning by a touchdown. The thing about it is, and I was telling Darren this the past few weeks, is you can't get down. You can't have these magnificent drives and get into the red zone and struggle.
Yeah.
Or you can't have punt after punt and expect a team like the Steelers or a team like the Bills to not come down and score. When the defense, because the defense got 2 turnovers last week, and you only scored off of one of them. So I think now you understand, like, all right, every time this defense gets them at least a punt, we've got to go down and score because
got to make them pay.
Yeah, we can't give these other teams too many chances.
Can't keep them in there.
So yeah, I think they understand that now, and I got the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs winning by a touchdown. I would say if I had to go a score.
21,
I would say no. I would say 31-17, a similar score to Baltimore Steelers.
Because we've still yet to have an opponent score 30 points on us this season.
Yep. Chiefs ranked 4th in points scored. With I think it's 18 points a game they allow.
All right, Q. Christmas Day. What's on your Christmas wish list?
Steelers, 33-28. I feel like they make it happen in a couple of different ways. And maybe this is me being hopeful. Maybe this is me being hopeful that they make this game, winning this game makes the end of the season interesting. And especially in the AFC. So yeah, I think they take it. I think they snatch one on Christmas. Russell plays the Grinch.
All right.
What you think?
I think that this is going to be a very competitive game.
Bill scored 30 on the Chiefs, by the way.
It is. Yeah.
First time this season?
No, you said
nobody scored above 30 points is what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. And they won that game. They were the highest scoring opponent the Chiefs have had this season.
Josh Allen too.
Yeah.
Wade Phillips said, "Why you always hating Q?"
I say that this game is going to come down to a field goal, and whoever's the last offense with the ball is going to kick that field goal and win the game. I don't know which team it's going to be, but I say that's how it's going to play out. The last team on offense kicks a field goal to win it, and that's it.
Yeah, because Russell's going to eat with that tight end, whatever his funny last name is, but
Fairmouth?
Yeah, something.
Wow,
I forget what it is, but yeah, he's going to eat with him. But I think it's all up to Pickens.
Yeah,
Pickens has to have a game.
I'm trying to see what the line is for
the line was
Chiefs.
2.5. Just on it.
2.5.
It's 2.5. Yeah.
So
no, I got 3 on this app.
So pretty much that field goal. Yeah, so there it is. Christmas Day at noon, and we told you that Mariah Carey is pregame entertainment for the Chiefs game, and Beyonce is halftime entertainment for game 2, the Ravens in Houston.
So do you
you know what? Speaking of halftime entertainment and Beyonce being at home in Houston, and they're taking on the Ravens quarterback seems to be a little bit more interested in something else. Game time. Check this out.
Beyonce to the left.
A little disappointing that she's going to be performing at a halftime show that you can't watch.
Nah, because I'm going to go out there and watch. Yeah. Go out there and watch, man. My first time seeing Beyonce perform, and it's at our game. That's dope. I'm going to go out and watch. Sorry, Hawa. Sorry, fellas.
Depends how big your lead is if you guys have one.
Nah, man, I'm not even thinking about the lead. I was just thinking about just seeing Beyonce for the first time. Not saying it like that. No disrespect, nah. Because I know how people can take things. Pause.
Definitely pause, because I can see him dancing in his mirror singing Put a Ring on It at Home Alone. So Russell's Lamar James is more interested in the halftime entertainment than he is the actual game. And this game really holds no significance to them either, so he doesn't have to care.
I mean, it is
what it is.
I would love to play a football game during a Beyonce concert.
Would you?
Oh man,
yeah.
It's gonna be in Houston though. It's gonna be a lot.
She's gonna be at home.
Out there.
She's gonna be at home.
People gonna be there for the concert. Just watch.
It's a Beyonce concert with a football game around it.
13 minutes of Beyonce.
It's like halftime.
I'll be going to get me a
Super Bowl.
Another plate of wings and nachos at that time.
Is there a prop bet for how long the game will be out for Netflix? Like, are we looking at 2 minutes? Are we looking at like 8 minutes?
Does she knock the power out? Does it shut down the grid and everybody lose their signal for Netflix?
I think Netflix just automatically messes up the stream.
Because Netflix had trouble with the fight, the Tyson fight.
Yeah, they came out and said they've reset their whatever it is, their routers.
They put it in rice.
and it'll be
they
good.
Unplugged. They rebooted.
I think this is gonna do way more numbers than the Tyson fight.
They rebooted.
I honestly do.
It's Beyonce.
Yeah, well, I don't care. I'll be definitely going to give me something else to eat.
Good thing they play second, so we ain't gotta worry about that.
Oh yeah, and it's Christmas dinner too. Hell yeah!
You better put some Beyonce on.
So y'all do turkey and dressing for Christmas dinner?
I will do Thanksgiving dinner
for Christmas
twice a month, every month, all year long.
Oh.
It's my favorite freaking meal. So all these houses who like, we just did that, I don't want to do it traditional, then I don't trust anybody that lives in any of those houses that is doing a shrimp boil or crab boil or doing barbecue, because I've been seeing memes like, hey, we should go on the grill and just barbecue for Christmas.
That's for New Year's.
You don't know.
New Year, barbecue for New Year's?
I mean, you do all the fried chicken. You do all the other stuff.
The following week.
Yeah.
So this is your last chance to have that big meal to wrap up the year, you know. So no, I don't trust anybody who's not having a traditional Christmas
dinner.
Good question. I don't know yet.
Oh. I'm doing some bacon. I'm not cooking, even though my kids like attacked me yesterday and was like, hey, you doing a brisket? So now I may have to smoke a brisket and do some bacon. So we shall see.
I'll bring you some meat to put on that grill.
Nope, no Diddy. No Diddy.
Oh.
Wow, what is going on here, man?
Smoke these meats.
Wow.
On that note, we want to wish you all a very, very, very Merry Christmas. This time of the year is for spending time with family. Jesus is the reason for the season, and I do know that for a lot of people, this time of year coincides with a lot of loss. So sending prayers to you for continued strength and comfort for the ones that are not here with us to celebrate the holidays anymore. But we are still here, and I think that instead of being in that dark place of mourning, that we should try to celebrate what we do have and who we have around us. So spend this holiday season mending those fences with some of those family members who might have been cast aside for whatever reason. We do know that our time here is short, and we don't want to live with those regrets. So my Christmas wish is that those families who are suffering from a broken chain heal those bonds, reconnect those chains, and enjoy the holiday season together. And we thank you for joining us, and we will be back next Monday talking about what happened on Christmas Day. You guys have Christmas wishes you want to say?
I just Merry Christmas to everybody. Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
No, in all seriousness, though, Merry Christmas to everybody. We appreciate y'all, watching us each and every week, and also the comments and
definitely
all that. So.
Especially our regulars. We love and appreciate you. And God bless us, everyone. We will all see you sometime next week on Monday, and we'll talk about what happened on Christmas Day. And I'm sure Q will tell me all about Beyonce's performance.
I may even record it on my phone.
Is she wearing silver? Or what was the thing about that? Her wearing silver?
That was something that was part of her
Renaissance. Yeah.
Her tour.
So it silver is a Renaissance thing?
No, I mean, it was just
that was
part of the color scheme.
Tour.
What color do you think she'll wear?
She's gonna wear
she'll probably have a couple
Texans jersey.
Changes,
She's gonna wear a Texans jersey. That's...
No, I think she wears something country western-ish almost, but I also think she changes outfits too.
I think she's gonna have a blinged on Texans jersey at some point in her performance.
Oh, no red and green for Christmas.
I won't know because I'm not watching it.
No.
But here's something I do want you to watch, though, to add to your Christmas list of movie watching if you haven't done so yet. Red One with Dwayne Johnson.
I might watch that tonight.
Watch it. It's I think it's on Prime. It might be
on Fire Stick. Yeah, I know that.
Check whatever streaming service is on. It's actually a pretty good movie. I think it'll be one of those Christmas movies that we watch year in, year out. And yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Wait, Philip said no matter what she wears.
At all. Don't matter. Sorry, Sean.
Hey, she ain't no Solange, I tell you that. Yeah, I said what I said. All right, folks.
I mean, just look.
Hey,
that's either or on that one.
She ain't,
they both knows.
And they mama could get it up. Hey, we out.
Wait. Have you seen her, Miss Tina?
That went way left. Hey, Miss Nose. All right, we gone, y'all. Merry Christmas. We'll see y'all next week. God bless. Good night. Be good to each other.
The views and opinions expressed in the W Radio Show by the hosts, co-hosts, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundation, or affiliates.